Olori Tobi has indeed met her end, yes, because when they tell Tobi, no, 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 Tobi will be like, no, nothing would happen to me. Let me do it. Let me go ahead and do it. And right now, that singular action she took to storm Akure over going there to deal with Olori Naomi once and for all has provoked the Ooni. Yes, that action is something the Ooni does not admire at all, and the Ooni does not appreciate it in any way as we speak. So what is happening? What is happening is the fact that the Ooni has finalized his divorce with Olori Tobi as we speak. And any news that is coming out now is the fact that Tobi is no longer legally married to the Ooni of Ife. This is indeed sad news. This is not a news to jubilate, to jump over, to celebrate. But the truth remains that Olori Tobi fucked up big time. Yes, we have come a long way on this matter, and it is safe to say that Olori Tobi has done a lot of things she should not have done. Tobi has gotten into a lot of involvement she should have considered it is not worthy of. Tobi has really been Tobi has really been too much involving as we speak. And right now, whatsoever is happening to Tobi, she's just reaping the fruits of her labor, because Tobi gave it her all. She gave it every single thing to make sure that she fights Olori Naomi. And as we speak right now, the Ooni has publicly denied her. Your husband issuing you a divorce is denial. Yes, every other person is fighting to make sure that the person stays back in the palace. But Tobi's case remains different. Her own case remains very different, because in the midst of this whole chaos, let's know that Tobi is coming down. No, Tobi is not coming down. Tobi is doing one thing or the other that will warrant the Ooni to still have a focus on her. Now you'll be wondering, what has Tobi done so much that she cannot be forgiven? First, when Tobi returned back into the palace, Tobi came back with a rumor that she was pregnant. The Ooni is someone who, when it comes to pregnancy, he embraces it so much. His wives knew that, and they even wanted to use it against him. That's how bad the condition was. They wanted to use it against him. But they only being a very careful and a well calculated man that God has helped, they could not prevail in any way at all, as he kept on winning against them. Every single plan they brought failed. Every single attempt they made failed. Every single thing they were trying to make sure that they bring in plots to deceive, means to make sure that they get to the Ooni, kept on failing on a daily basis. So now we don't want to talk about how Olori Ronke did her own, how Ashley and Mariam wanted to do their own, how everybody felt using this child agenda will be the best aspect to get to the Ooni, in order not to bring Olori Naomi back, because deep down they felt it is because of Prince Tedenikawo that the Ooni is mad. In fact, he really wants Olori Naomi back into the palace. They should have all asked. The Ooni would have gladly told them that it is far from that. What exists between him and Olori Naomi is nothing but genuine love. But when he says it, none of them will believe him. Yes, none of them will believe him, because it has become a thing for them to believe that it is because of Prince Tadenikawo. So when Tobi returned back into the palace, the first thing Tobi came back with was a news of her pregnancy. Now, if you are going to do something like this, everybody would advise maybe you should go for an IVF. Yes, and in inventory fertilization. It will help you. IVF, you would need the Ooni sperm, your sperm, to fertilize a child. But in this case, we don't know how Tobi calculated her own. We allegedly heard of how she used a surrogate mother. And after some time of giving birth, the world celebrated with Tobi. Everybody came out for celebration. And then the next thing, we started hearing of the DNA test of the children not matching Tobi. And then there was a paternity test the Ooni did that did not match. They found the milk that belonged to the children that the Tobi was feeding, and of course the milk never belonged to Tobi. So all of these things became suspicious, and everybody started questioning what exactly is happening. And from these questions that everybody began asking became the reason to which the Ooni also became confused. Because when the Ooni decided to run a paternity test, he said he did not have all he needed. So when it became necessary for him to ask Tobi for a DNA test, the first thing the Ooni did was to strike a deal with her. You get me a DNA test to prove that these children belongs to you and they belong to me, because during that period the surrogate mother had come out and she was making hilarious demands. And there is something about this thing is that it might seem like these women are the ones dragging themselves, but they are dragging the Ooni down with them in the midst of this whole chaos they put up. That's the part people get to ignore, because they will say, the Ooni is overreacting. The Ooni is not overreacting. The Ooni is a custodian of the Yoruba culture, and no matter what happens today, he remains the ruler. And as long as the Ooni is on that throne, no whatsoever happens in Ile-Ife is automatically connected to him. Yes, he is the one ruling. He is the one in charge. He is the one there as the custodian. So no matter what happens, know ye that the Ooni is directly involved in one way or the other. So when the Ooni started making all of these requests, it was because he didn't want to work with rumors. The Ooni wanted to ask the source. The source is with him in the palace. Tell me, who is the mother and who is the father of these children? But everybody start it's more like, they are accusing Tobi, or they are accusing Tobi, they are doing this, they are doing that. And then gradually it became something that we could not really understand. Tobi started denying, Tobi did this, Tobi did that. She even wanted to fight, and at the end of the day they only had to let go the matter and take his actions himself. And right now, no, from that moment they only ordered these women that they should pack and leave the Olori quarters. We knew that the Ooni has been fed up with all the character, all the drama, and all the boss these women have been putting up. And as it is right now, Olori Tobi has received a official divorce from the Ooni. This is not something that we will just overlook it, because it is not only Tobi that has been on this matter, but immediately Tobi started fighting Naomi, Tobi did not stop. Tobi fought until she has seen her end in the process of fighting Naomi. It is so bad. It is so bad that it has to be this way, because Tobi, she has done every single thing she feels a human being can do to win, but it is very unfortunate that she did not win. Rather, the Ooni and Olori Naomi, who has not been fighting, has won.